typical scenario. You get a new spot and you want to treat the room to finally set yourself up with a perfect sound studio or recording booth or both. I've always had to somewhat make do with my studio room, so this time I wanted to go all out, encompassing proper acoustical treatments throughout and combining my lifelong clash of music versus visual and digital art. So once I get into this spot, I notice challenges right away. Then start to warm up to the idea of converting the room and trying to envision what it might look like once it's complete. Let's take a look. Right away, I notice the floors are hardwood. Usually I love it, but for my needs, this is strike one. There's a huge window. Again, usually I'd love this, but again, this will be hard to treat. Not impossible, just hard. Strike two. And last, a radiator that hums once I get close to it. Damn, strike three. Not just yet though, here's why. As I look closer, start to see. The walls and ceiling are solid concrete, thick, and work very well for soundproofing by default. The room itself is rather perfect for my needs regarding size, function, and versatility, with a closet just big enough to convert into a dead-tight sound booth. The window is actually going to work in my favor for ventilation once treated. The hardwood is actually going to add a bit of bounce to my flat sound, and I can adjust it easily by adding or removing elements in the room. And with a bit of luck, I won't have to struggle too hard to turn off that radiator. So really, this room is kind of perfect. It just took me a while to see through the first layer of obstacles. Just want to say what's up with the camera. See you guys in a few days. This should all be pretty much done. So let's start prepping the room. First, you're going to want to get everything you'll need for your treatment. This will usually include paint and all accessories to paint with. Get latex. Get semi-flat to eggshell. You don't want to go glossy or shiny. Thick, good quality masking tape. You don't want leaks along any lines you make. Acoustical foam. I used Foam Factory on eBay. They did a crazy job packing this stuff, but it comes from the Foam Factory. These are 2 inches thick. We got them in 2 colors, this and a burgundy. For the girlfriend, she does voiceover work. Wanted to give her a bit of a difference. And we got these from, like I said, the Foam Factory. They're one of the few that do ship to Canada. I guess there's too many problems with customs, so it's really hard to find this stuff in Canada without paying top dollar for it. So amazing prices. I think we paid like, I don't know, under $1,000 for enough to fill 2 rooms, 2 vocal booths. And now this is just one of the 7 packages. They say they'll give it 24 hours for it to fully uncompress. It looks fine now, but all right, so the next step is underway. We're gonna give the room a second coat of paint and start getting these on the walls and into the vocal booth area. So we'll see you guys shortly. All right, day 2, onto our second coat of paint. It's looking great, but we ran out. So I'm gonna go back to the store, get some more today, get some of the other essentials that we'll need to finish treating the room. The foam's already here, like I said. Now that it's daytime, let's have a good look out here. There we are. Here's a nice view we're getting. Can't really see much right now, but that's a Royal River streaming right there. Huge park right there. So yeah, when we're not working, it's looking pretty dirty right now, actually. But yeah, so far so good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. 2 days so far. We've got the big, like, foot-long edge going all the way around. It just gives it a little bit of a deceptive feel that it's taller than it really is. Then we're gonna get an area rug. We can start filling this up with the foam. Start filling the whole room up with the foam. I can't wait. All right, see you guys in the next step. Okay, next step is complete. We have finished second coat, finished the trimming, just got to take all the tape off, clean the floors up, made a mess, but it's nice latex, easy to clean paint, which is good. Already got some of the gear here. Let's see in the house. So the cool things we'll be doing next is taking these right here. We'll be doing a pattern of checkerboard. It's going this way, and then the next checkerboard down that way. This part's important. Get a quick consultation with an acoustical pro. telling them the dimensions of your room, the building materials used, i.e. drywall and insulation versus concrete, carpet versus hardwood versus laminate, etc., and they'll tell you the best application for your room or vocal booth or both. Rule of thumb is usually to cover 50% of your control or production room and up to 100% of your booth, with removable elements to adjust how flat versus how bouncy your recording will be, and what microphone or microphone settings you use to maximize your results. Consider thickness of foam, type of foam, size of foam pieces, color, pattern you're going to use, and texture you want. All will play a role in noise reduction and in aesthetics. It does help if you have an eye for art or like to be creative. Note though, don't contrast your paint with your foam too much. You want to focus on your work, not have your eyes being pulled or distracted by your foam and paint combo. It's good to have them only a few shades different, say 30% max, and a color theme that is complementary, or simply stick to gray and black to be safe. Also, take into consideration your furnishings like tables, chairs, gear, etc. if you want to maximize your visual appeal once everything is set up and put together. So we tape up the floorboards, corners, ceiling lines, door trim, and anything else you want to mask. For paint, put on between 2 to 3 coats. These days you don't have to wait more than a few hours between coats. However, if you want to get that dead thick look, wait 24 hours and paint slowly to ensure maximum coverage and thickness.
Alright, so there we have it. The first row on the first wall is up. And now what we're going to do with this next piece, this next row, is do this.
Next, grab your foam pieces and your spray glue. Get creative with how you lay your foam. Remember not to use too much spray either, so when you want to take it off someday you can preserve it and not rip it off, leaving half on the wall. Spray both the wall and the back of the foam. Use a rubber hammer or the bottom of your fist to fasten the foam in place. You can do any pattern you want, really. The only thing to try to avoid is to have all the pieces going in the same direction, and even that is a myth. I like symmetry, with a bit of a break in my borders and my balance. So going row by row in alternate directions like I'm doing here is going to give me that perfect look of chaos meets order.
Crazy, this stuff. I'm covered in it right now. Can't see it, but there's a nice thick layer of this all over me. Make sure you're in a well ventilated room, and then you don't need too much of it. Just a little back here, and then just about the same on the wall. If you do both, then it's not adhesed too hard, so that if the day comes you want to remove it, take a little hair dryer or something to it for a little while, and it'll just come off nice and easy, versus you putting tons of glue on it. Then when it comes time to move, you guys rip this off and it's garbage. All right, so keep that in mind. Once your first one's done, like I had to do this on the first one, right? Go up, glue that, and then measure that, and then skip to the next one and glue that. Once you have your first row done, the rest are pretty easy because all you have to do is kind of just fill in the gaps. So we'll take a closer look at this. They're 2 inches, and already I'm noticing about 10%, 20% maybe of a drop in the echo in the room. So very good job, Foam Factory. I know it looks stupid, but the mask had to come on. We have way too much glue flying around the room. But the first wall is done and it looks good. Alright, so we have this wall complete. We have the doorway complete. We have this main wall complete. And the only thing left is this wall here. A little bit above and below the window. And I can start treating the rest of the room. You guys can hear my shoes, eh? Everything's sticky, so I'm gonna take them off. So yeah, it looks good. Sounds good too. Yeah, I'm liking it. Here, so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Little doorway where you come in and out of the room. If I go in here and just, yeah. It's even, wow, quite a difference. Quite a difference, a good 50-60% already in this little area. No bounce. All right. Okay, and we are finished. Close that behind us. Hey! Hey! Anyway, sounds great. Take my shoes off because we're still sticking. Looks great. Still got a bit of a bouncy kick in the room because of the wood, which will be treated later. I just had to cover all my stuff because there's glue all over the floors. So, in one session, painting 2 coats and then lining all these up. The hardest part, trying not to sniff too much glue and actually lining these up so none of the checkerboard pieces are the wrong shape. So up next we'll be doing the closet. Starting to wonder if I'm going to be running out of these soon or if I'm going to have enough, but we should be alright. But so far, let's go back in here and take a look. The lows are getting picked up really nice. Check 1, 2. So far it doesn't sound like we need a bass trap, which is good. Yeah, it's catching the bass really nice. I like it. Okay. That's kind of weird. Almost like a padded room for somebody that's a little bit loony. Most of us producers and artists are a little bit loony though, so. Alright guys, there we have it. If you're wondering why we went with 2 different directions and 2 different patterns, as I stand in the middle and eject sounds and sounds coming out of speakers when everything's set up, if these weren't here, everything would just bounce, right? So even right now as I talk, I can hear the difference because I'm trained and I'm used to it, but hey, it doesn't bounce anymore. It gets absorbed or it bounces within the foam. So if we have all the foam going in one direction, it probably wouldn't make too much of a difference. But we wanted each row to be different. So one's going horizontally, one's going vertically, all the way around the room. If you want to just pan around the room quickly to show these guys. And that really helps dampen the sound a bit more. With the consultation that we did for this room and this size and the challenges that we face being the wood, the doorways, the window, and the radiator, this is the recommended coverage, being 50% for the main room and then 100% in the closet. I don't know if the microphone on the camera will pick it up. Come a little bit closer maybe. But when I'm in here, I can already, this is already acting like a little vocal booth. It's catching all the sound and trapping some of the bass really, really well. 1, 2, 1, 2, hey! And then as we come out here, hey! If you guys can't tell over the speakers, this is probably going to be played on YouTube and stuff, so it'll lose some of the audio quality. But this is turning out really, really nice. And then tomorrow, we'll get this going and then show you guys how that is. Once it's done, we'll film it. So right here, what we're going to have is a big L-shaped table, or U-shaped table, sorry. I'll be sitting right in the middle of the U. I'll have my view and I want to look out the window, and then I'll have the vocal booth behind me, a workstation in front of me, a workstation on my right. 3 monitors, 2 monitors, meaning computer monitors to look at, screens, and then actual audio monitors, 1 on each side, and then 2 in the center there. Some of the gears are already on the floor, waiting to be installed. So now it's just a matter of a cleanup, setting up the tables, getting an area rug, ceiling treatment, and we're good to go. NC Media, stepping up the par for the studio. I love it. I'm happy with it.
Once you're finished painting the room and gluing your foam, stand back in awe and take a few photographs. You've just finished the first step in building your own acoustically treated sound room. You're not quite there yet, but stand in the middle, beatbox, sing, yell. You'll notice a huge difference if you walk into any other room and do the same.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.